Hey everyone, it's Hidesh bringing you Game 3 of Women OE title match that has been played just today. The defending champion is Ichio Shimizu, one of the greatest women professional player. She was born in 1969, was taught by honorary 9th Dan Toshio Takayanagi. She became a women professional in 1985 and became the first 6th Dan, women 6th Dan player in the history of women professional in 2000. Her total count of title terms is 43 terms. She's indeed a great player. Now, on the other hand, playing black here, the challenger is Tomomi Kai, a player from the younger generation, born in 1983, taught by the 16th permanent Meijin, Makoto Nagahara. Became professional in 1997. She just got her first title, the Queen title, the other day, and she's going for her second title now. Now, Game 1 and Game 2 were taken by Kai, and Women OE title match is a 5-game match. In other words, it's a 3-win match, so Shimizu has to take this game to hang in there. So now let's take a look at the game. Black Kai played pawn 7f. Oh, by the way, her winning count, the total winning count in professional games is 148 wins and 73 losses. Winning percentage 67%. Now white Shimizu played pawn to 8d. She's a static rook player. Now her total winning count is 463 wins and 174 losses. Winning percentage is 72.7%. Very high. Alright, now black plays pawn to 5f. Kai's forte strategy is central rook, so it seems she's going for that. White plays pawn 8e, bishop 7g, pawn 5d, and rook to 5h. Okay, central rook. Now king 4b, king castles to silver 6b, and king goes ahead 3h, and pawn 3d, opening bishop diagonal. Now bishop exchange can happen anytime. Silver 6h. Both players don't want to lose turns, so they don't go for bishop exchange so easily. Now bishop 5c, king goes ahead, castling to 2h, and king 3b. And this is actually the same position as in the game 1. In game 1, it proceeded such as, silver 3h, and they went on castling. But in this game, Kai changed her move. She pushed the pawn up to 5e, attacking the central file. Well, otherwise white can exchange the bishops, and then the silver can come here protecting the square. So that's why she now went for the pawn to 5e. Okay, pawn takes and bishop recaptures. And if white takes it, rook will take it, attacking the silver. Now I think you'll see this bishop drop. This bishop drop on 4d, securing the rook and lance. But the rook can simply run back, and if she takes this lance, you can take the silver. And it seems black is a little bit good, so I can't drop that bishop. Well, if pawn drop, well, black has to go back, and white can go here, but if she does that, bishop fork, or maybe this bishop fork too. So actually white didn't take that bishop here, and she dropped a pawn to 5d. Now actually this position is already played by these two players in other championships, and in that game black played bishop takes 2b, and then they went for castling. But in this game Kai played bishop back to 7g, so they went into another world. Right now white plays gold 5b from the right. There are 3h, 1d, 1f, and 6d. Rook 5i, pawn 7d. Black swings her gold on the left side to 7h. White pushes the pawn up to 4d. Silver 5g, bishop 3c, and silver goes ahead 5f. So very good position for the silver, because the pawn is already gone on the piece stand. The silver can advance there, and maybe this kind of attack would later happen. Okay, gold 4c, but actually black didn't do that. Black went for another side. bishop to 6f, aiming for the 8th file. Very interesting. Black is going to develop his knight here and swing the rook on the 8th file, counterattacking this file. So white immediately goes for the 8th file, pawn 8f, pawn takes, rook takes, but knight 7g, getting away from the rook. Notice that this rook is protecting this square. And here, white made a decision. She played king to 2b. A very strong move because it creates a floating piece over here. Right now, pawn to 8b. Very interesting pawn sec. Well, this is possible because black has got a pawn from the 5th file. So she has 2 pawns. That means if white takes with the rook, black can block it and later on counterattack the 8th file. So white can't actually take it. So she played knight to 7c. Okay, pawn to 7e, going for the knight's head. Okay, white might want to drop a pawn, a dangling pawn, but rook to 8i is a good response to that. So white played bishop to 2d. Now white can drop a pawn to 8g in the next move and harass the black's camp. Right, so white plays pawn to 7d. Now pawn to 8g, but rook to 5h, protecting the square. Okay, pawn promotes to 8h, gold takes. And if white promotes, black can take this knight. So white saved the knight 6e, knight takes. Note that this bishop is now protecting the gold too. Pawn takes and silver recaptures. White promotes the bishop to 7i. Pawn promotes to 7c. Horse to 6i. Now black made a very violent attack here. Promoted pawn to 6c. Well, what if white ignores it and takes this rook? I don't know if they go ahead. I'm not sure. This bishop is protecting here. White doesn't have any diagonal piece, so white's king is weaker. So white can't go into that line. So white plays 0 to 4b. So black can make the in-between move here and promote pawn to 6d, attacking the 5d square. All right, white plays rook takes 6f, taking the bishop out of the board. Pawn takes and horse to 5h, gold recaptures. Now they have exchanged rook, bishop, and knight. Rook, bishop, and knight. But black has 4 pawns, and that's a big advantage. But the castle seems a little bit weaker for black, so we don't know who's better yet. Okay, rook dropped to 6i. Okay, black drops a rook to 5i. So white decided to take it. Gold recaptures and another rook drop. But now Kai drops a rook on this side again. So white finally draw his rook back to 7e, promoting. So promoted pawn to 5d. Gold runs to 3c. But bishop dropped to 5e. Very great attack on the 4d square. Okay. Now white draws with bishop 2 to 5g. Okay, well, this is actually a very interesting move. This is what shows Shimizu's strength. Because after black goes ahead, promoted pawn to 4d, white makes a great move of dragon to 6f. Incredible. Black will, first of all, take the gold, of course. Knight recaptures, and then, yeah, she could only take the dragon, but bishop recaptures, promoting, and this is a threatening bishop drop on 3i and also attacking the silver. So black has to move the gold to 4i, so she takes the silver. And it's a very powerful horse here. It's protecting these squares. So Shimizu is doing pretty good too. Okay, so rook dropped on 6a, attacking both of these horse and gold. But it's fine. Horse can move to here, for example, but it will be met by a knight drop. So white chose this way. Horse to 70, also protecting the gold. So rook takes the lance on 9a. But here white plays bottom pawn on 5a. Now white's castle is very, very strong. And all of a sudden, it's very hard to breach white's king. Okay, black played lance to 5i. But here starts white's fast attack. On the edge, pawn 1e. Pawn takes and pawn drop on 1f. I know black can't take it because knight drop is too powerful. So black played gold drop on 2f. Yeah, she sticks to it. But silver drop on 2e. Okay, black ignores it and pawn drop on 5b. A little bit, it seems a little bit slow. Okay, bishop drop on 4e, attacking on 2g square, also attacking the rook, but it's not a big point here. Well, if white now drops knight here, it's a too powerful attack. And if white takes the gold with the silver, black has to recapture, and there's a room on 2g, so it's very, very uncomfortable for black to do this. So black now has to take the silver here, so knight can develop in a good tempo to 2e. Okay, silver drop to 2f, but pawn promotes, lands takes, knight retakes. Okay, silver takes, and lands drop on 2d. She goes for the 2g square. Okay, knight drop on 3f, blocking the bishop and also attacking the lands. Very good defense. Right, but knight to 3e again. Okay, pawn takes to 5 and promote, but lands promotes, silver takes, knight takes, king takes. And here, white makes a great decision. White played horse to 4g. Now the reason is, this move of taking the gold doesn't seem like a threat mate yet. And, this move in her next turn is actually a threat mate. With, this kind of move, knight sack and bishop promote. So it seems horse to 4g is a very strong move. But yeah, Kai actually just simply took the gold on 4a because, well, actually, white's king was in a threat mate in this position. Well, we see the mating line. Well, actually, I didn't see that. It said that knight drop on 1d, followed by lands takes and gold sacrifice. I don't know. If white runs, I have no idea, but let's say this kind of move, or if she takes it, I can maybe go ahead like that. I don't know. So anyway, this promoted pawn on 4a was a threat mate, so white has to do something about that. And yeah, she saw that mate and dropped the silver to 2e, protecting the 1d square, and also putting pressure to 3f square. Well, I guess it's a threat mate. So black played gold drop on 2f, but another great gold drop on 3e, adding another piece. Well, later on, they found that gold takes the gold seems to have been interesting, because after pawn takes it, knight sack on 3d, letting either of these pieces go back and are in one move. That's an interesting, but black didn't see that, so white played. Also, black played gold takes 2e, so white recaptures. Okay, black could only drop a lance to 3h, blocking the horse and making escape route for the king. But here, a great pawn drop on 1f, has to take it, and gold drop on 2f, and it's all over. King runs, gold takes the silver. King went ahead, early escape, but here's the final blow. Bishop takes the knight on 3f, and seeing this move, black Kai resign. Now, if black takes it, white can use that knight immediately to here. King runs. Okay, zero drop and a pawn drop. A great checkmate with using all her pieces. So, yeah, it was a great game. Now, game 3 was taken by women Oi Shimizu, so the title match will go on and continue to the game 4. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.